Peninsula Credit Union offers time to 501c3 nonprofits to get their message out on iFiber One News Radio. Here's one of those conversations. Got a great guest in studio to talk about the Community Foundation of South Puget Sound. Norma Schuiteman is on the air with me. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jeff. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming on the air, talking about this new local Give Local campaign starting tomorrow and runs through December 13th. Tell me a little bit about the foundation and this new campaign we got coming up.
Well, the Community Foundation has been in existence since 1989. It's a public charity, which means we receive gifts that are tax deductible from donors, and we hold charitable funds that donors set up with us.
Okay.
We have about 100 separate funds that have been established by businesses, individuals, families, nonprofit agencies, and we hold most of them as endowment funds, which means they're here permanently.
Oh, nice.
And the earnings off of those funds, we invest those funds, the earnings off of those funds go back to the community in the form of grants, primarily in Mason, Lewis, and Thurston counties.
Okay. What are some of the main aspects you guys focus on?
Well, the lovely thing about a community foundation model is that it can fund anything that lifts up the quality of life.
Okay.
So from the arts, the environment, education, health, scholarship, animals, human services, the gamut, all of those things that help make us a better community.
And so someone will have an idea for a way to make the community a better place. Get in touch with you through the Community Foundation or online at thecommunityfoundation.com. And then how does it work?
Then they make a charitable gift. We invest that gift, and then they make recommendations to us about how they would like the earnings from that fund set back into the community. So they may have a charity of their choice that they really love and say, please send $5,000, for example, to this organization or another one, or they'll say, I really want to set up a scholarship fund. And so ultimately, high school students benefit from the earnings off of that fund in the form of a scholarship.
You said you've been there for 13 years now?
I have been, yes.
How has the need changed over these 13 years?
The needs continue to be there as they always have been in the realm of helping people that may not have all of the resources that help their lives be as full as they would like them to be. What's happened over the years is that donors have become more involved in wanting to support the areas that are of interest to them.
Okay.
So many of our gifts come from donors that say, I have a particular interest or a particular organization that I'd like to support. But we also have donors that say, we know that over time communities change and we may not know all of the needs, and so they also give unrestricted dollars to the Community Foundation, and we then make the decisions on their behalf. And that is part of what this Give Local program is about.
Well, let's talk about the Give Local program.
So every year, the Community Foundation gets at least double, sometimes triple the amount of requests for community grants than we can afford to support from the funds that we hold. And that's always hard. You know, we always want to be able to say yes. And this year, we are asking the community to help fund that difference. So what's happening this year is that through our fall grants process, we approved over $400,000 worth of grants, but we received over $900,000 in requests.
Wow.
And so many of the grants that we approved are only for partial funding. And this year, starting tomorrow, we are promoting and advertising 50 local nonprofits in these three counties, Mason, Lewis, and Thurston. And we are partially funding those grants already. Mm-hmm. And we're asking the community to give local and support the rest of the grant that we couldn't fund.
So they'll find the list on the website, communityfoundation.com, and they'll go through and find something that is near and dear to their heart, or just in general. And send you the funds. And mm-hmm. like I've talked with nonprofits over the years, nonprofit organizations can leverage their dollars a little differently than just an average person can. So then that will help to fill the coffers of those 50 various entities that are in need?
Yes, yes. When donors go online, they'll be able to see what has already been gifted to that organization, and then they can choose whatever amount they want to give in addition to that. And they can give to more than one organization if that's their choosing. And one of the reasons we did that is because there's such a rich abundance of strong, good nonprofits in our region. And many people just don't know the breadth and the depth of the nonprofit sector. And so we felt that this would be one way to help generate understanding and recognition of the services that are there that support us, whether it is something in the arts or something in the environment or human services. The more we know, the more we can support through volunteering or through our financial gifts.
A lot of folks are very proud of the nonprofits around this community. If there is some things that the Community Foundation has done that you see around the community, what would be some examples of that where someone would go, "Oh, I didn't know the Community Foundation did that"?
The Community Foundation by itself does not make all of the difference. We are a smaller organization, but what we do is we can fill in with some smaller grants that the organizations really need. So in one place, there was a shelter that just needed new mattresses for the homeless men in that shelter. They'd had 4-inch mattresses that the covers were ripping, and we were asked, could we provide 6-inch mattresses with good covers. Now that may not sound like a lot, but every night to have a bed that has a little more comfort to it was one difference that we made.
That is a big difference for the folks who do sleep
It
there
is, yes.
every night.
Yes.
thecommunityfoundation.com, and when you are involved in this, make sure on social media you hashtag #GiveLocalSPS. Tell us a little bit about some of these other, this on the form here we have information on the Dawkins Charitable Trust. They've got some things going on. Tell me a little bit more about some of the trusts, and feel free to talk about the presenting sponsors as well.
Sure, we'd love to. Our communities are so blessed because of the way businesses step up and support so much of the activity. And so what is wonderful about this particular campaign is that 3 local businesses, Coldwell Banker, Evergreen Realty, the Green Realty Group from Olympia, and Olympia Federal have stepped up with gifts that, because of those gifts, allow 100% of every person's donation to go to the organization that they want to support. So in essence, these donors and these businesses are supporting all of those fees that otherwise may get a charge to the donor for credit card or for transaction fees. And so that's a wonderful thing. And so we're immensely grateful to those 3 community organizations for making that.
That does help out a lot.
It really does.
I mean, one donation, I would assume the fees would be similar to ATM fees, $3 or so, and one person after another, and that does really add up and ticks away at your bottom line.
It does, and often donors are asked if they would like to cover that additional fee, but often they don't.
Sure.
And so these businesses have stepped up and said, we'll take care of that. And then you asked about the Dawkins Charitable Trust, and that's a trust that came into place in the Thurston County over the last couple of years. And that trust is making available $40,000 this year, which will be available to the organizations, the 50 agencies that participate. And at the end of the campaign, that $40,000 will be distributed on a proportional basis to the nonprofit agencies based on the amount of money that they've raised. And what is interesting about this is that we have put a $5,000 cap on the amount any one nonprofit can get from the trust in order that this doesn't become a competitive thing.
Sure.
And because we want everyone to be able to have a share of that wonderful matching gift from the Dawkins Charitable Trust.
Is this the first time that you've decided to do a campaign like this?
It is,
yes. What brought you to that decision? Just you saw the need and you saw the kind of imbalance there? Or?
Well, we've seen the need over many years. We also know that there have been campaigns in other communities around us, and we've been approached to say, are you going to do anything in the crowdfunding arena? I mean, that is what is the case now for giving. So much of it is online. And we wanted to find a way to do that wouldn't be terribly competitive, that wouldn't mean that the Community Foundation had to raise a huge match from the community in order to make it happen. And so we were very thoughtful for about 7 months of looking at different models and felt that this one also matched with the Community Foundation, with the way we would like to support our local nonprofits.
There's a lot of great information on the website. I'm kind of perusing it right now at the communityfoundation.com, including the types of different funds that are able to give back, how you can give today, and ways to contact. You're all over social media. Looks like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll put the links to this website in the show notes when we post this interview. But the Give Local of South Puget Sound campaign starts tomorrow, goes through December 13th. It is all part of the Community Foundation of South Puget Sound. These are tax-deductible donations. Yes. So make sure that you have that information ready to go when you make these decisions. And very cool. Well, a good organization to talk about and a good program through the Thanksgiving and the first portions of December. Norma, thanks for coming on this morning.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for making the time for me to be here.
No problem. And again, you can find more at thecommunityfoundation.com. Again, thanks to Peninsula Credit Union for offering up time on iFiber One News Radio's Daybreak for 501c3 nonprofit organizations who want to get their message out to you. If you're a nonprofit who'd like to get a word out, email Jeff at iFiber1.com.